You don't have the guts to be what you want to be.
Don't blame me, my business I've been minding. Watching y'all move, I can no longer keep silent. No work, all talk, all play, all day, all wasting away. And I'm the pariah, shit. I've been working for years, trying to build myself a name. Hammer with the flow, I'm putting order to flame. Doing the work of foreman like I'm running the game. So when I speak it loud, they listen. All the same, this a unit of vibe and sound. I've got two hands bared, building up for the ground. It seems if that thing is rare. Got them gloves on my hands, sneaking snakes with fangs bared. But I move too carefully for them to taste their hair. Y'all too quick to waste time. I ain't got a second to spare. From trusting the grip, it's mine. Y'all better beware. I hold my people down even when there's nothing to share. And when we sell out, it'll only be the chairs. When I say we eat, dog, I really mean we. I ain't worried about what the fuck y'all can do for me. See, family is family, and that's all that I need. Loyalty is all that I breed. Guess I'm a different breed. See, all I do is grind. The money will come. I'll keep walking my path at an XP till I see some. The weather been cloudy, but I pack me a coat. I've been through a lot, so I'll be proud when they crown me to go. It be an animal farm when you're looking out the window. Major collapses for mills and them pigs, man, they been cold. If you're farming for fame, that's gonna be your end, bro. You better read up before you end, bro. Don't blame me, my business I've been minding. Watching y'all move, I can no longer keep silent. No work, all talk, all play, all day, all wasting away. And I'm the pariah. You can't glorify yourself when you ain't worth shit. Just wanna make sure
Oh, hell no.
So she has no tail.
Did you record that? Oh, babe.
That won't be posted.
Yeah. Hey, at the top, welcome to Coffee and Bong Hits. Whether you are listening to this live or whether you've caught this in the audio only version as a podcast, we appreciate you. Spread the word, tell your friends. If you see this, click like, leave a heart. I don't know. It depends. Like a lot of people don't even really want to have these crazy conversations, but I gotta tell you, one of these is the real Gatorade. One of these is Fakerade. Can you tell which one is the Fakerade? It's this one. This one is Tang. Look, this one is Tang. This is what I thought would be like an eco-friendly alternative to just buying endless Gatorades. It's weird. I know I shouldn't drink Gatorades, but here's the thing. I know I shouldn't drink anything, right? First, I couldn't drink liquor. Then I couldn't drink beer. Then, remember when I stopped drinking alcohol, I started drinking those just like raw fruit drinks. I can't even think of what they're called, like the nature drinks or whatever. And then everybody was like, "You got to get diabetes." I was like, "Man, I can't do nothing. I can't drink nothing." So then I was like, maybe I'll just drink Gatorades. And they're like, Gatorade's got too much sugar. So then I got the Gatorade with no sugar. But now I got a lot of Gatorade bottles around here. So I'm going to have to start building shit with them. Maybe a boat. Maybe a launch pad for my spaceship. For those who don't know, never listened before, my name is Jesse Sponberg. I'm broadcasting live from the middle of, I swear to God, I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere. If you saw where I was on the map, you would be like, damn, that dude really is nowhere. But look, I have a window for a wall, right? And then I don't have nothing around that window, but just the illusion of safety within the parameters of my shack-like structure. So the weather's kind of crummy today. On my street only, I went 2 streets over this morning with the neighbor to go look at his property, and It was super sunny over there. But then I came back to my spot. Um, hey, you know what's cool is I could just walk you guys around. Look, 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 look. Boom, 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 boom. I got some dogs sleeping. And look, the dogs are gonna stay sleeping until I get hyphy. Once I get hyphy, but then I just got animals. There's the pig. There's some other pigs. There's the goats. So everybody's just chilling while I do my show. But they're probably gonna get crazy. And look, right now there's 0 cats on my bed. Boom, 0 cats on my bed. See, look, more Gatorade bottles, orange juice bottles. I need to become more sustainable. But the point I was trying to make is I need a dang water filter system. But everybody's like, oh, that water system won't keep out slug poop or won't stop microparticles that flew here from the Pacific Ocean or whatever. I don't know. I just need some water that I feel like I could trust. And so because I've grown up in a society that tells us to trust corporations, even though we know that the regulation companies allow a certain amount of animal feces and whatever, dead rats or whatever to probably be inside this Gatorade bottle. It's really about parts per million, right? That's what I tell myself. Parts per million, parts per million. If you keep yelling parts per million, or if other people keep yelling parts per million, it's crazy. So this is kind of a parallel to society that we live in, right? Like we trust fucking Gatorade, but why the fuck do we trust Gatorade? We just do. Like I trust Gatorade more than almost anything. There's been times in my life where I've been so thirsty and I just reached behind the back seat of my car and just found an old half Gatorade. Boom. And just pulled it out and drank it because I trusted it. No matter what, months old, nothing gets past this lid, right? So then you're like, oh, but Gatorade has always been a reliable friend to us, right? No matter what, Gatorade has always been there. It's got the information. There's the transparency, right? Psych, bitch, this is Tang. This isn't even Gatorade. This is Tang. Y'all been trusting the Gatorade because it's in a bottle. It's got the packaging. It's got the fucking all the fake credentials. Okay, now take that and apply that to everything you know about the fucking world. You know, I've been saying for a long time that I was the only journalist that you could trust. And that's because I sincerely I sincerely care about people and I don't have an agenda, right? I say it's what's up, Paul? Uh what's up, Joe? What's up, Cody Castburn? Um I always tell people I'm the only journalist you could trust because I knew that this world was coming, right? I knew the world. Okay, check this out. Do you remember on Friday, right when we were about to get off the air, they opened the Twitter files? And it was disclosed that inside Twitter, there was an effort to shape what appeared to be honest public consensus and honest public dialogue, right? Because in a society with a decent level of exchange of ideas, the cream will rise to the top and people will be able to aggregate those opinions and formulate their own, right? Ideally. Unfortunately, we live in a world where 85, 90% of the people just accept what's given to them by the monopoly of corporate news, which absolutely just lies to your face, right? I mean, look, let's just remind ourselves real quick that they lied to us about fucking UFOs for a long time. I ain't never gonna believe nothing. They lied to us about the fucking pandemic. I'm never gonna believe nothing again. But so here's the thing. They haven't stopped. They're lying to us about this fucking war. And I guarantee they're lying to us about Brittany Griner. But I'm going to wait a tiny bit before I go into that. Because I don't want to start getting like hysterical over chasing the laser, right? I want to make sure that the show launches with intent so that we understand that what's going on, this madness, is two things. One, completely separate from the struggle of our eternal soul to complete soul contracts, right? Like, we're here by the most magical means ever imagined, right? In the vastness of space, the vast emptiness of space, there's this one tiny little pinhead called Earth, the smallest little planet ever, right? Well, it's actually bigger than Venus. Yeah, shut up. It magically supports life in the most beautiful way, right? And we're supposed to believe that from the Big Bang, boosh, life just exploded. And then all of a sudden, people just started running on the dust. And then we started inventing shit. Oh, Joe, don't even get me started. Joe, I got so much to talk about once we get into the news. Holy shit. Holy shit. I got shit. I got shit. I got shit. I got shit. Like first, don't look. Let's remember who we are. Let's not get lost in the fervor because that's what the bad guys, the aliens, the devils, the reptiles, whoever is lying to us, that's what they want, right? They want us to be caught up and lost. And I'm so blessed because I live in a very unique environment where I'm mostly detached from the trappings of this corporate society, right? Where motherfuckers are telling me it's Gatorade, but it's really Tang. But look, if you listen to anybody that's stuck in that world, it's just an easier life if they convince themselves that both of these are Gatorades, but they're not. Look, I got the fucking proof. Oh, that could be faked. Anybody could Photoshop Tang. It doesn't even have the G, right? But look, we're separate from that really because if you turn all that off, if you disappear from all that madness, if you compartmentalize all of that, there's a deep, very personal part of you, a unique, magical, impossible miracle of a soul that just started running on a planet that exploded and then coalesced. They used to have dinosaurs living on it for hundreds of millions of years. Think about how long a million is. A million years. Then think about how many hundreds of millions of years. I think the oldest dinosaur is like probably hundreds of millions of years old. And then all of a sudden we're here. We're just here. We're just here. Guys, I live in the fucking jungle with a window for a wall. But I really do care about the rest of the world, right? I feel obligated. I feel obligated to care about the rest of the world, right? Okay, look, it's 12:15. I'm doing a little bit of rambling. Hold up. Hey guys, do you need highly versatile amphibious footwear? Specifically real Crocs, but are terrified of falling in love with them? because they're so awesome, and you're afraid that you might become the guy that wears them to church or wears them with long pants. I got your solution, like I always do. Get some fake Crocs. Fake Crocs brand, fake Crocs specifically. Don't get the fake Crocs. Get real fake Crocs brand, fake Crocs, because they'll break long before you have a chance to fall in love with them. We are the best. We are number one. You guys are sucky. We're going all the way. We are the best. We are number one. You guys are sucky. Yeah, we're going all the way. We're the best. There's your daily affirmation, right? You're the best. You're number one. So what direction do I want to go? I think what we should do real quick is see what the fuck is going on today, but we'll do it in the most neutral way possible, I think. We'll just look through the news. We'll just look through it real quick, and then maybe slide over to Twitter. That might be the move. Okay, look, let's see what the fuck Google's talking about. Brittany Griner. Okay, that's just that's as far as we need to go right now. We'll just stop right there. But okay, look, Brittany Griner back home in the U.S. after Russian prisoner swap. We'll just stop right there. I'm gonna tell you two things real quick before I even go much further, and that's one. I spent all day yesterday trying to think if there was an American that was worth trading that dude for. Like anybody. Like anybody. I started thinking, like, do we have like anybody so important as to let that dude out to Russia, a country that we're engaging a proxy war in to help the Ukrainian nationalist government, who no longer even pretends they're not Nazis. Like, who do we have in this country that's worth it? No politicians, no athletes, like not LeBron, not Tom Brady, not Bernie Sanders. Who? Do you guys like 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 all politics aside, just who do we have in this country valuable enough? Nah, man, he still had plenty time on his sentence. I don't even want to get into the media wants you to bicker about it. The media wants you to bicker about it because they're going to provide you the talking points, right? Like Twitter and Facebook, they have, and TikTok, and maybe even Instagram, they have paid liaisons, right, that put out the talking points from both sides of the two-winged bird, right? Whatever. It's so crazy that people always share those memes and people always say how little they trust their government and how they understand that the news is not their friend and that they're lying to them. Yet, out of the same fucking neck that they say that shit, they so willingly parrot the corporate media talking points. Look, I know that a lot of our listeners to this show um, don't live don't live in the United States. Um, but I want you to know that not everybody in the United States falls for that shit. I used to fall for a lot of it though. You know, I used to keep CNN just like in the background of my whole life, just as like default, even though I understood that there was more direct and more honest places that I could get my news from. Just the way the CNN packages it up, like this Gatorade bottle, makes it seem so official, right? And then I'm like, well, let's see what it says. Boom, zero, Gatorade, berry. Like, wait a minute, what? It says berry. Bitch, it's Tang. It's Tang. I've been telling you it's Tang. But so just here's my thing. I don't. I just don't get how everybody is so willing to just be wrong about everything in order to fit in with the other people that are wrong about everything, right? And I said it last week, and I said it on a strange game on a volcano. I I regret encouraging people to get the vaccine, not because I still wouldn't encourage people to get the vaccine, but because I played the role of a willing patsy for the corporate talking points, which we now understand are being manipulated as to affect public perception, right? Like in a world where everything moves so fast and everybody's so busy, you have to cut corners, right? So easier than spending a bunch of time figuring some shit out or doing your own research. It's just easier to just trust the Gatorade bottle, yeah. Except I'll say it again: the Gatorade bottle is actually fucking Tang. You want to know the crazier truth? There's two fucking bottles the whole time. But if you look, one says berry, one says Tang. And I know you're thinking, Jesse, you're off your fucking marbles if you're just ranting about Gatorade bottles. And if you think that, you're missing the point. Look, hey, did you know on my show I could just go back and sit on my bed if I want to? Watch. Hold on. Look, just move this like this. Hey, do you see my socks don't even come close to matching? Um, but then, so here's my second thought. And I'll tell you a story first. One time on a flight to Tampa Bay, I got caught in the bathroom of the airplane smoking my vape. Now, full disclosure, I uh, I don't think there's a statute of limitations that's expired yet on this, but so I got caught and I lost my ability to use flight benefits with a particular airline, right, that I used to have a sweet deal with. And I was like, fuck, that's a big mistake. Over fucking pot. And then one time I was in Job Corps. And fuck, I had a sweet gig at Job Corps, right? But I was selling pot to the teachers too, right? And then I got ratted out, got caught, got kicked out of Job Corps. And I was like, damn, that was a really dumb thing I did over pot. Um, can you imagine the way that somebody feels right now, Brittany Griner, knowing that casual mistake, look, even if it was calculated, because you'll never convince me that the first time you ever tried it is the time you got caught. Right? I don't believe in that kind of luck, right? Even if it did happen, um, the law of averages says that just giving the benefit of the doubt on that one is never a good investment of your wisdom. So just accept the fact that most of the time when people got caught, the time that they got caught, they're gonna say it was the only time they ever did it, and so then you should forgive them. Look, and trust me, people. I don't want to get myself in trouble, but I understand the mentality of somebody that takes a lot of flights and drives a lot of places with large amounts of either cannabis or extract or whatever you might have. Um, I really don't want to incriminate myself, but I have a high degree of sympathy and empathy for somebody that gets caught. I guess I could tell you. No, I'm not. I'm not I don't need to validate. I don't need to validate my opinion with my resume. Um, but you know who is a serious smuggler is the dude that we let go in exchange for her. And you'll never convince me that the United States really wanted to keep that dude very badly, anyways, just because of the nature of the beast. So then I stumbled upon some information which would suggest that same guy used to do contract work for us, and that he's maybe not necessarily even per se like a weapons dealer as much as like a facilitator and like a smuggler style dude. So then you really have to wonder, like, fuck, aren't we in the middle of a fucking war against these guys? Okay, now so then here's my next thought. Let me flesh out this one. Wouldn't you feel terrible? I felt terrible when I lost my flight privileges. I felt terrible when I got kicked out of Job Corps. I felt terrible when I got kicked out of high school. I felt terrible every time I failed a UA and got my ass in trouble with the probation office when I was in my 20s. Uh, but imagine you just thought you were just going to take your pen, slip it, be cool. Probably done it a bunch of times and it worked, and then just one day, boom, everything unravels. Everything unravels. Now in the middle of a potential nuclear war, in the middle of some bombings, in the middle of just blown up cities, you just fucking get arrested. Okay, so two more points I want to bring up because I really feel like this is important, and I don't feel like I'm belaboring it, but I want to bring like clarity to a lot of the misinformation. Being racist against Russian people is still racism. If you're like, Russian people are white, I guess, right? But they're Slavic. And where they come from, there is real racism going on against Slavic people. That's where the term orc comes from. It didn't originate with just Russian people. It's a slur. It's like the N word. You don't want to know what the fuck Slava Ukraine is like. Or what the historic equivalent of saying Slava Ukraine is like, or where that came from with Stephen Bandera. We're gonna try to talk about that later a little bit, but not as much. So here's the thing: Russophobia has always been pushed by the West, but Brittany Griner purposely lived and played in Russia, except for during the summers when she came and played almost charity basketball in the United States, right? full disclosure, I used to watch WNBA basketball. I used to also watch the WBL basketball when they had the Portland Power. I used to take my son and all his friends to the games. I fully support women's basketball. I don't devalue the role of women's basketball in relation to men's basketball or relation to any other sport. I don't think that just because it's a women's league that it has any less value than a male league, right? But in America, they do. So this person goes and decides to live in Russia, is very well compensated, taken care of. Many of these professional basketball players do the same thing. They go live and work in Russia on their own. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that after this is over, Brittany Griner even returns to Russia to finish out her contracts. I didn't even look to see what her contracts are. But, you know, she's been vocally critical of the United States, and just because they let her out of her contract. I mean, just because they let her out of jail doesn't mean they let her out of her contract, right? So that'll be an interesting turn of developments. And then the other part that's super important, is the precedent that this sets. So now, if you are an American athlete of any stature, you now run the risk of being kidnapped by a foreign government. Awesome, Joe. That's super dope. That I wasn't wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. So look, now all these athletes are potentially able to get kidnapped and used and leveraged, right? Like, I mean, this is one of the most dangerous men in the world that's alive right now, potentially a high level arms smuggler for decades. Why would we allow a high level arms smuggler for decades out of fucking prison? So if we would do that, what will we do for LeBron James? What will we do for Tom Brady? What will we do for Aaron Rodgers? Oh, you know what? They wouldn't probably do nothing for Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers spoke out against COVID. They would probably let Aaron Rodgers sit in prison like they're doing for the January 6th protesters. Like, yo, check it out. Even if you think that storming the Capitol was the worst thing in the world, right? At least let these people get some due process. Because here's the ugly part of the truth about the world, right? These warmongering fucking Democrat people gave you Donald Trump. You think it was an accident? They gave you this motherfucker, right? Just like Zelensky. Before Trump ran, he was, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. This motherfucker was a manufactured fucking candidate that went wild, right? But it wasn't an accident. And not every time you want to hold somebody in elected office right now accountable for what's going on, for the out of control fucking situation with the children that are being trafficked all over the fucking South now, all over the fucking border. Or if you want to complain about the fucking war, right? If you want to voice a gripe that we're on the precipice of nuclear war in a situation that is, if not more, equally as precarious as the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? So then what? If you complain about that, guess what you get as a response? Oh, remember Donald Trump? Oh, remember the Orange Man? Oh, look, I get it. I know. I see these people's posts. These people are obsessed with Donald Trump. And I get it. We talked about Donald Trump every day on this fucking show, like his entire presidency. But now this presidency is over. They don't want you to stop talking about it. They don't ever want you to stop and think. That's why they give you more TV shows. That's why they give you more Netflix. That's why they give you more movies. That's why they subconsciously and subliminally seriously control the way you think, right? And then they give you fucking. When I was growing up as a young journalism student, like in high school, they were developing what's called sound bites, right? And they're like, sound bites are going to take over the world. Fuck, in those days, a soundbite was at least a couple fucking sentences. Now it's been reduced to a hashtag and even worse, to a meme. Hey, if I see people communicating their political views through a meme, I'm just like, oh, brother, you're so brainwashed already right now. One, make your own meme. Or two, think about that meme and like give like an objective contribution to society, right? Because let's remember, social media, we've now proven on Facebook and we've now proven on Twitter, and that's a good sample to me to extrapolate to the other sites, is that it's controlled as a mouthpiece of the government, the FBI. And we know that the FBI is like involved in every mass fucking shooting. And check this out. Last night on Twitter, it was revealed. Here, let's get this off Brittany Griner because I don't want to talk about that for a little bit. Or you know what I do want to talk about though is um where is it? Okay. Anyways, look. So on Twitter, it was revealed that they had access to everybody's direct messages. So if Twitter, like there's like a direct message button on the screens of like the admins inside it, right? It just boom. You could see it on the screenshots. People were like, what the hell is that? And when I fell asleep last night, I was like, what the hell is guano? We'll probably encounter that as we do a little I really want my news. Whoa. Whoa. Man, do you know who I trust less than corporate news? Nobody. No, nobody. Do you know if something happens these days that makes the Democrats or Joe Biden look bad, they just won't fucking cover it. They won't cover it at all. Just blank. And then, for example, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but look at how many people say, "Oh, they just want to see Hunter Biden's dick." Like, think how many people you seen say that. Look, if you see somebody use the phrase, "That's a nothing burger," fucking run the fuck away as fast as you can. These people are incapable of thinking for themselves. They've been wired through hours and days and weeks of television consumption and fluoridated water and fucking junk food. These people are incapable of independent thought. Like, it's hard to think when the TV's fucking on. That's just a fact. And I'm absolutely convinced that a person can either do one of two things. You can either explain to me accurately what's going on in the world, or you could tell me about some TV shows that you really watch. But I don't think anybody could do both. I don't. Like, you just can't. It's so hard and it's so complicated that you really have to defer. And at this weird time in history, people just are just overwhelmed with so much. Okay, so check this out. Now is the time in the show where I'm supposed to look, I'm supposed to do this, right? Where I go, now it's time for my news, not your news. Boop, 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 boop. But what's weird is right now, all the good news is on effing Twitter. So it's like Twitter time. Because as you guys know, Elon Musk, you know what's crazy is Elon Musk was like, I'm gonna buy Twitter. And everybody's like, no, don't let him buy Twitter. Don't let him buy Twitter. Don't let him buy Twitter. And he's like, all right, I won't buy Twitter. And then Twitter was like, oh, we're gonna sue you. You said you were. And then he's like, psych. And then he bought Twitter. People are so dumb. They're so reactionary. They just uh fucking chase the laser like a cat. No matter what is going on around them, they just zip to from one news story to another, and then they show up in your goddamn threads in your posts sharing New York Times articles. Check this out. If you share a New York Times article with me, I will immediately assume that I couldn't think of nothing nice to say, so I didn't say nothing at all. If you share New York Times articles, you have no critical thinking ability. Um, Off the top of my head, I could just start throwing out just blatant lies and blatant deceptions of the public. They go all the way back to the Wright brothers over 100 years ago, when the New York Times said that the Wright brothers and humanity would not be able to fly for 10 million years. Very shortly later, they flew. Okay, look, let's see what's going on. Boom, add to the stream. Let's blow it up. Let's shrink me. You guys want to take this off? Let's take that off. Let's put this back on. Okay, let's zoom and see. Boom. Look, right off the top, I'm gonna tell you this. This is UFO bot, and the UFO bot and the other bots that are on Twitter are some of the most sincere um, news makers that we have right now. That's crazy that they used to get banned from the old Twitter before. Okay, we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. Boom. Boom. We don't want that. There, look. There's more Nazis doing Nazi shit to fucking regular citizens that might be Russian. Look, 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 look. Man, remember when y'all tried to tell me they weren't Nazis? Holy shit, it's not a laughing matter, but y'all are so brainwashed. Oh, remember you guys were like, hold on, look, I'm gonna tell you real quick. I'm gonna tell you three, four, five huge lies that I remember y'all try to push. One, Ukraine isn't Nazis, that they're not nationalists, that they're not white supremacists, that there was no bioweapons labs, um, that Zelensky was a fucking brave hero, that Hunter Biden deserved his job with Burisma, that Putin was going to take over the world if he wasn't stopped, that there absolutely had to be a no-fly zone, and that Ukraine was going to win. All of that was a complete lie. All of it. Every bit of that, right? But the craziest part to me is if somebody comes up and tells me, hey, these people are fucking, neo-Nazis. these people are fucking working to build a European ethno state. I'll be like, wow, that's super interesting. Let me look into that. And I wouldn't just Google, are Ukrainians Nazis? And then get the New York Times article and share it. I just wouldn't do it. It's all been a big fucking lie. Remember they said there was no bioweapons labs? Then turns out there's a fuckload of them. And then remember when they said, okay, well, there is a fuckload of them, but they're friendly bioweapons labs. Bada. And it turns out if Russia got a hold of them, they were super dangerous bioweapons labs. And then we found out that many of those bioweapons labs secured their funding through Hunter Biden's investment firm. Everything is a fucking lie and an assault on our senses. Um, Dude, Twitter is fucking real, Joe. The Here's a good one. I told you these wisdom bots. Let me bring this back up. Boom. Add to stream. So it's a good one. Remember when we literally caught them secretly worshiping an effigy to Moloch, and we accepted that they were just goofing off as an explanation? Y'all remember that? Yo, that's the OG Alex Jones shit. Bohemian Grove. Think about that. If Alex Jones hadn't infiltrated Bohemian Grove, we wouldn't know what the fuck is going on. And here's the weird thing is the conspiracy theorist people have been right like this whole time, right? Like these motherfuckers do worship devils and they do fucking traffic in children and they do advertise fucking S&M bears in advertisements for children. I mean, with children for fashion labels, and they are all intertwined. And whether you believe in Satan or not, whether you believe in Baal or not, is really actually kind of irrelevant. Like, if a motherfucker tells you he's a vampire, I don't think that's the best. I don't think that's the best analogy. But you'll still get bit. That's not the best analogy. But look, even if the devil isn't real, these people are acting in ways that they believe will give them supernatural powers, right? And you're like, well, they're already super rich and powerful and maybe live forever. And and then whenever it gets slightly covered up, it gets one, buried by the media, and then two, shamed, like as if it makes you a flat earther or that it, you know, the suppression of information by the pseudo intellectual class is the craziest fucking thing to me, man. And I just see it over and over and over and over again. And I remember when I was a kid and I first wanted to know how the fucking moon got here. Motherfuckers was talking about it was a rogue planetoid that got trapped in the Earth's gravitational pull as it flew by. Okay. I didn't believe that when I was a little kid, but I didn't have any reason not to believe it, so I just stashed that question away, right? And then when I got older, I revisited that, and they were like, the moon came from an explosion of another planet that ran into the Earth, and during its magma stage, and the two planets ejected hot rock into space, and that hot rock coalesced to become a moon, but there's no water on it. And I was like, well, what about Mars? And it's like, there's no water on it. Now we know that both of them have water on it. And, just the other day I read a story that said they just found the oldest forest in the world in New York, and it's 2 million years older than scientists thought, changing everything that they know about forest origins. During the 1800s, if you suggested that there was advanced civilizations in the Americas, you were shunned and mocked, and you might have your scholarships or your funding revoked. You were outcasted and excommunicated and exiled from the institutions of higher learning that usually facilitate expeditions and discoveries to discover that shit, right? So once you get blacklisted and stonewalled from these institutions of learning, there's nothing that you can do, right? You're a kook. But time after time after time after time after time, it's the people who reject the institutional gatekeeping of information. They spent 50, 60, 70 fucking years telling people that UFOs did not exist, that there were weather balloons, that there was swamp gas. And they spearheaded a culture of mocking anybody who told you they seen some shit, right? Right now, we have the same phenomenon going on with crop circles, yo. The crop circles are like the craziest fucking shit you can imagine. Complex, sacred, geometrical configurations when stretched out into three-dimensional forms, explode into fractals and shit, right? And they're drawn overnight with no disturbance of any grass around them, actually changing the molecular structure of the medium that they're created in, right? They're so beautiful. But the media has precipitated and facilitated a climate of mockery again and devaluing the information, and that happens everywhere. Fucking, I don't have to tell an intelligent audience how often it happens. How it's just a complete how it's just a complete um hold on. Uh, Boom. It's just an absolute cycle that's just repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated. And it's happening like right now. Like the whole country is just falling the fuck apart. And before I go back into Twitter, I feel like I just need to just give the same reminder I've been given for a long time, which is to protect, insulate, and isolate yourself the best you can. They only want you to hear about Twitter on this show, Joe. There's like a coordinated effort to devalue Twitter because the elites, the ones that run the Balenciaga ads, they need you to keep sleeping, right? They need you to keep buying expensive shoes and worshiping athletes and singers and other flawed people that are inflated and exalted um, by the media in a huge fabrication, only to eventually take those people down, smear them in slander, or maybe murder them, or disappear them, or kill their family members. You know, and the question I always keep asking my friends when we talk about this is, you know, they present me with a piece of information or something, and then I say, okay, to what end? To what end? To what end? Right? I mean, who the fuck is trafficking all these children to and from? Do you know that somebody like Jeffrey Epstein had a whole network of women besides just that Ghislaine lady? And they're all on the outskirts and the fringes. And people have these conversations in places like TikTok and places like Twitter, but nobody can go there to get their information. And it's funny because you can ask me, Jesse, why? Why do you do your show? And if you guys remember, before I stopped to do this FlashTown project, our show was in the top 6,000s on the whole planet. But that's not really my goal, right? So when I was a kid, they used to always explain to me how we descended into fascism, right? Uh, they would ask how we descended into fascism, and it was unbelievable to me. It was just impossible to me. But now, in the future, when people study in the future, when people study what happened to our society, they're going to be able to find my shit, right? They're going to be able to find this show. They're going to be able to find my other show. And they're going to be able to find the archives. And they're going to be able to find my Facebook posts and my Twitter posts. And they're going to be able to like use virtual reality to recreate exactly this environment, right? Like what I see, to assemble my daily photos, to use this platform to articulate what's going on right now at the end of society. And another thing, Jesse, those are great words, right? Brad, they ain't words. Look fucking behind me. Are these words? Look, let me take you somewhere. Let me take you somewhere. I should be doing this more often. And look, as soon as I get a little bit more comfortable with the new setup, I'll be bringing cameras in and we'll just switch, right? Look, you're like, Jesse, those are words. No, they're not words. Those are fruit trees I'm growing, right? Look, there's my pig. Where you at, sis? All right, it's raining today. Shock, surprise, it's the rainforest. Look, there's my goats. So when I say this shit to people, it's not because I'm some talking head that gives a shit how many Twitter followers I have, or how many Facebook followers I have, or even how many people watch my show, even though obviously it has value in some places. And if you're currently listening to the audio version of this show, I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Download some episodes. We're trying to get our podcast numbers back up. The old episodes are keeping us in the game, though. Um, the old episodes are keeping us in the game, and we're still somewhere around the top 20,000. So if we can make some moves, I'm gonna get some episodes piled up, then I'll throw them on as like as a chunk. I'll put them in like a 4 block, and then people can upload them as a 4 block, and then hopefully we will skyrocket back somewhere into the top 10,000. I know nobody cares about that. Hey, do you see how I'm rubbing my wrist? Bah, I had to smash a guy. I'll tell you real quick. So the other day, on a Sunday, we were at the beach, me and two of my neighbors, who are pretty rugged dudes, right? Ain't nobody out here a sucker. Um, there's a certain level of steadfastness that you need to be able to maintain and sustain, or you're gonna go down the drain. Okay, so we're at this beach spot, And then this guy, like this ice head guy, buffed out, shorter than me, taller than my friends. Um, he comes up. Long story short, I gotta collect him. So I collect him good one time, and then he falls down. All his stuff flies out. He leaves his stuff, runs, goes, jumps in his truck, puts it in reverse, spins around. Swear to God, you know I never lie. A lady, like a crackhead lady, the passenger door wasn't closed. So when he did that move, the passenger door flew open, and a lady shot out. And then the guy gets back out the truck and now he wants to fight again. And I'm like, you better take care of that lady. Uh, and then I was like, this is getting too crazy. So then I turned on the video camera and I recorded about 4 minutes of just craziness, which I'm not gonna lower myself to put it on the internet, even though I really want to. I'm trying to be a bigger person, right? I'm trying to be a bigger person, but so I smashed the guy. But God, I got down and then back up. It was like, whoa, but his eyes was already crossed by then. So, anyways, he didn't want no more. But um, my hand is cool, but damn, the scar tissue in my wrist fucking all went. Because y'all know I only got one good hand, right? You remember that? Which makes what I'm doing out here in the goddamn woods even crazier. The fact that I just got one hand. Hey, y'all want to see some shit real quick? Come here. I think I can make this move real quick. I want to show you guys something. Oh, first of all, check out my banana tree. I got like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 banana trees in various stages of growth. But look, I shouldn't be taking my laptop out. I guess I could stand under here. What's up, sister? That's my pig girlfriend. Come here. Why don't you have your own show? You're way more fabulous than I am. Hey, so you know what's cool is I'll lay down some pellets or some I'll lay down some pellets or some cracked corn or whatever down here for her and Shaka, and then and then, and then when they're done mulling through it, then the chickens come up, and then the chickens eat what they want, and then after the chickens, the doves come up, and the doves eat what they want, and then after the doves, the finches come up, and the finches pick through the littlest parts, and then after that, the flies show up, and the flies eat the rest of it. So yeah, when I tell you guys these things, and I tell you that we're living in this crazy society, and we're moving towards extreme scarcity, right? Of not only places to live, um, not only of places to live, but of like food to get, and it's the short term and the long term world too, right? Like short term, we saw we can't even fucking sustain toilet paper. If the railroad workers go on strike, short term we're in trouble, right? But what about long term? What about 2 years? 3 years down the road when there's a social credit system, if they can take Kanye's money and they can take money from these Russian oligarchs that live in these other countries that they don't even like, all these Bitcoin billionaires are dying and disappearing, and these crypto billionaires are getting murdered, and everybody's message is the same, right? The bad guys are child trafficking. And you're like, who are the bad guys? Everybody, bro. Everybody is trying to get the children. And I don't get it. I don't get it. And they'll say, well, being here is better than being there, or being here is being like, just leave the damn kids alone. Have some accountability at the border. Have some sensibility in your communities. Dude, you know what war zones these are turning into? Like these story times are about to become the craziest civil war because look, I always try to be really careful what I talk about on my show because I don't want ever my words to be construed or misconstrued. That might have been a Freudian slip. I don't know. I don't want my words to be construed. Uh, oh, Ruby, to let my thoughts be construed. Um, there's just a war going on from every direction to get our children, from the media people, the vaccine people, the abortion people on both sides, the story time people on both sides. What a crazy hard time to be a kid right now. And I'm not an old person that would suggest that modern day music is any worse for children than music in my day, right? Because in my day, my music was fucked up, right? But there's a weird thing, right? It's like, was my music, was Two Live Crew planted by the government? I don't know. Is Cardi B planted by the government? Is Jay-Z planted by the government? Are these industry people that set these standards for children's behavior planted by the government, right? Well, was Luke and the Two Live Crew, were they really banned in the USA, or was that like another psyop mission just to break? You know, there's actually executives for like television companies, and they go every year and lobby the FCC to allow for more harsh content, more swear words, more obscenities, right? Under the illusion that they need that kind of flexibility so that they don't lose their audience to cable companies or to movies, right? So every year they're like, okay, what words can we have? And then there's somehow, I'm not in those rooms obviously, but somehow there's a negotiation somewhere. There's a fucking negotiation going on in there that there's a negotiation that ends up with a new list of cuss words that you're allowed to say throughout your show, right? South Park used to do a great job of highlighting them every new season. When the new list would come out, they would start using them. Okay, look, let's go back to Twitter for a minute. Yo, Twitter's about to be. Hold on. All right, sorry. Um. So yeah. Anyways, here's my point. Alex Jones literally caught them worshiping an effigy of Molech, the owl god. I seen the video. I seen the video way back in the day. I seen that video before fucking MySpace even existed. I seen that video. I seen Yeah, I seen that Bohemian Grove video back in the day when you had to have a VCR. Like the homie Danny would just show up. The homie Danny would just show up with a stack. He'd just show up with a stack of fucking VHS tapes, and he'd be like, "You seen this one?" Boom, it'd just be some old cable access shit that somebody captured one time. The beginning's not even there, right? That's back in the days of brother Abram, right? He used to wear a hat on cable access. I've been on this shit for a long time, and you know, I tell you, I got a pretty good track record for the shit that I accept ends up being pretty right, and the shit that I don't believe in ends up usually being wrong. And I think that, and I think that that puts me in a pretty good position of obligation. Like, if you can do it, because there's obviously a need for somebody that can juggle all these different points and try to put them in a cohesive strategy. And so, look, Don't listen to the words I say. I say this all the time, right? Judge me by my actions. Judge me by my actions. I never grown gardens in my life, right? I try to facilitate other people learning how to grow gardens in their life. But man, after I seen what happened during the fucking pandemic, how I seen how everybody just turned on each other over those masks that don't even work, right? I mean, that's one of the lies that we're all living, right? If social distancing worked, that those masks that say on on the box they don't work. You see dudes getting in fights in grocery stores, and you see ladies getting in fights in parking lots, and you see that Dr. Fauci's on fucking trial right now, and he can't seem to remember nothing. Um. So I don't really want to get into Kyrie Irving. I feel like I could stay out of that. But yo, shout out to Anomaly. He has a good podcast that he does. Um, well, hey, this dude, Michael Tracy, I honestly don't even know who this fucker is. Um, because here's the weird thing on TikTok, you don't really, I mean, on Twitter, I don't even get to really see who the hell it is. And sometimes I'll like leave a heart and I'll be like, oh, no, that guy's not accepted as a good person in society. I don't need to like his thing. Look, hold on. Let's just fly through here and try to find some shit. Um, what's this? I don't know. I thought that'd be something cool. Um,
Russia. We've been told that the Western sanctions against Russia are bringing the economy to its knees. Well, one marker of that is the price of food. Essential goods like cheese, milk, bread, and meat are all markers of how well the economy is doing. Well, I'm going to go to a grocery store in Moscow and see if the shelves are bare and see if things are expensive or not.
Sanctions leveled against Russia by the U.S. and its allies.
Obviously, you could tell by the way the guy started that. You could tell by the way that guy started that he was gonna find he was gonna find in favor of Russia. Oh man. Damn, bro. Look, remember when they tried to pretend they weren't fucking Nazis? Now they're shutting down any opposing churches. And you're like, no, it's just the Russian Orthodox Church. Man, they're asking for lists of fucking citizens with certain ethnicities. I can't believe people actually defended these fuckers and still do, just because the machine just keeps giving them money. What's going on here? Boom, look. Hey, this lady Eliza, you should follow this lady Eliza on Twitter. This lady's like single-handedly been fighting the war against child exploitation content on Twitter way before anybody when when they knew there was a huge problem on Twitter with that kind of content, and they let it proceed and continue and such. And wow, look at the number of the hearts are just and the number of comments. This is real, you guys. Epstein wasn't alone. Epstein infiltrated every fucking sector of our society: art, entertainment, philanthropy, sports. And you know what's crazy? The only motherfucker that didn't really kick it with Epstein was that son of a bitch, Donald Trump. And I hate that dude, but I'm not gonna give you a banana and call it an apple. That's why they hate that motherfucker. Here's that same video. Oh my God. Then you have people like this. Look, look, look. These people that are business personalities. Look, these are the worst people in the world. The worst people in the world. They get inflated followers. You know what the government does is they buy social media networks or the personalities, right? They give them a platform. Many people have come out and exposed this. Not only that they did it, used to do it, or have been made offers. They give them a troll farm. They give them the platform. They give them an inflated count. And then the social media networks inside their inner circles give them flexibility, right? They give them invincibility and immunity from uh, being censored or deplatformed, and they let people say inflammatory shit in their threads to build momentum within these threads to keep them at the top of people's algorithms, right? It's all fake. All of it is fucking fake. I swear to God, you would be better off like if you just never knew nothing, except actually you're gonna have to Eventually, you're gonna have to go to the grocery store. Eventually, you're gonna need food. Eventually, they're gonna try to give you the mark of the fucking beast. And I don't talk too much about crazy esoterics on this show. I just try to talk about energetics, right? But there's some real battles going on. All right, let's just see what's going on. Bluetooth. There's so many ads on Twitter these days. People are saying, oh man, today at 3 p.m. But what time is that? I don't even know. Let's keep going. Look, so oh man, bro, let me pause this real quick and tell you what this is about.
Руководство федеративной
Let me tell you what the fuck this is all about. Angela Merkel. I think she's the prime minister or the chancellor of Germany. Maybe it's the prime chancellor. I don't remember exactly her title. She admitted that discussing the Minsk peace agreement was just a stalling tactic so that Ukraine could build up its army to eventually wage war against Russia. So, like, people don't have to fucking believe me. When I tell you this shit, don't believe me. Just make it so that when you find that information again, because look, once you hear somebody tell you this shit, you can't unsee it, right? You can't get unwoke. I don't like to use that word, but you can't really go back to sleep once you understand that these things are legitimately happening. Let's just see what he has to say. And remember, this motherfucker has not been lying this whole fucking time.
республики ведет с нами себя искренне. Да, она, конечно, на стороне Украины находилась, поддерживала Украину, но мне все-таки казалось, что руководство Федеративной Республики всегда искренне стремилось к урегулированию на принципах, о которых мы договорились и которые были достигнуты, в том числе и в рамках Минского процесса. Вот то, что сейчас прозвучало, говорит только о том, что мы все правильно сделали с точки зрения начала специальной военной операции. Почему? Потому что, оказывается, все эти Минские соглашения никто не собирался исполнять. Руководство Украины, словами бывшего президента Порошенко, тоже об этом сказал. Не собирался его подписывал, он не собирался исполнять. Но я все-таки рассчитывал, что другие-то участники этого процесса были искренни с нами. Оказывается, они тоже нас обманывали. И это смысл заключался только в том, чтобы накачать Украину оружием и подготовить к боевым действиям. Но мы видим, да, это, видимо, мы поздно сориентировались, честно говоря.
Yes.
Yes. Good. Ну, вы знаете, куда вы летите?
Do you know where I'm heading to?
No.
No?
No.
Вы летите домой.
You fly back home
To the U.S.
to the US.
Да, конечно.
Okay.
Так что все будет нормально.
Everything will be fine.
I'm good.
What's your mood?
Happy?
Happy? Well, are you ready for long flight?
Yes.
Yes. Good.
So yo, check it out. What Putin was just saying was in response to what Angela Merkel said that the Minsk peace agreements was just a stall tactic. So then smugly he said, well, that just proves that his special military operation was a good idea. Right, man, we just keep shooting ourselves in the foot. The longer that this prolongs, the more you're going to realize this was a scam. The more you're going to realize that there was a lot of money fucking laundered in this war to really support some awful fucking people. And they want you to believe that Russia is the awful people. Oh, look, goddamn. They're like, hey, Jesse, like, why are you on Twitter? Like, bro, where else are you going to get actual where are you going to get actual this information comes directly from fucking the Ukrainian Jerry Seinfeld, right? Thanks to the President of the United States for another security aid package and for unwavering leading support in our fight against Russian aggression. No missile tear will stop our fight for freedom. It's important that the people of the American flag are side by side with the people of Ukraine in this struggle. That's fucking uh that's so frustrating to me. We've given them so much. We're giving them so uh, uh so look, the congressional testimony, yeah, we got this blown up still. The congressional testimony of Twitter executive for public policy 2018. In 2018, she wrote, some critics have described the sum of all this work as a banning of conservative voices. Let me make it clear to the committee today that these claims are unfounded and false. In fact, we've deliberately taken this approach as a robust defense against bias, as it requires us to define and act upon bad conduct, not a specific type of speech. Our purpose is to serve the conversation, not to make valued judgments on personal beliefs. The lie detector determined that was a lie. These fuckers, all anybody does is lie. Lie, 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 lie. Look, let's keep rolling. Well, damn, like I said the A word. I'm not gonna put that on my show. Um, boop, 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 boop. Oh my gosh. Boom, I told you, these are the ones that always know. Illuminati bot always fucking knows what's going on. Look, here's what I want to do. Oh, god damn. Oh, did you see that? Wow, this is coming, dude. This is crazy. Look, and of course, yo, this is real shit. This is real shit. Yo, I'm gonna pause that because I agree with that dude. Actually, man, I always hear the phrase human rights, and it's crazy, right? You think, well, Jesse, how could you think human rights is crazy? Like, who else has rights? Who else has rights? Who besides humans have rights like that, right? And who gave these rights to the humans that gives them this illusion of like manifest destiny or like America the beautiful or westward expansion, like animal husbandry instead of coexistence, or the justification of institutional animal slaughters. Who the fuck gave the humans the human rights to make these decisions, to test on these monkeys, to test on these bunnies, these dogs, cats, whatever, lab rats? Human rights is one of the craziest brainwashes that we've ever come up with to justify, enable, minimize, and project our accountability for a lot of bullshit, right? You think, oh, something something is a human right. Said who? Other humans. It's fucking crazy to me. But that doesn't take away from the very, very real threat that is the agenda of the World Economic Forum and the vaccine people and the disease people and the spaceship people and the global elite people and the Bohemian Grove people and the, oh my God, I just watched my cat fall all the way off the deck backwards, stretching. I hope she landed on her feet. Let's see what's going on TikTok real quick. Hold on. Did that just switch over effortlessly? Yeah, sure did. Let's see what's going on. Michael Rappaport fucking screwed that guy.
Weekend that I think seals their fate. And I believe this is a knockout blow for Europe, really like going back into the dark ages. It's kind of like the boiling frog metaphor. You know this metaphor, right? The water starts getting warmer and warmer and warmer, and the frog doesn't notice until it's too late. So everything Klaus Schwab and the European leaders are doing will destroy our way of life, but we won't notice it until it's too late. Suddenly we open our refrigerators and we have no food and we have no energy. But we're not going to let them get away with it, because I see exactly what they're doing. They'll just label people like you and me as alarmists and try to insult us and mock us. But we're watching them very closely, and you should too. So I'll get to the nitty-gritty details of just what happened this weekend, in fact, just a few moments ago, because the
reason you don't see me in the news is because I am a real victim. Real victims are not being represented by attorneys or in the media. I was trafficked to Jeffrey Epstein and Andrew Windsor by Deborah Palfrey, the DC madam. I was a student at the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. in 2002. I answered an ad in the city paper. The ad was ambiguous. Deborah was professional. I thought I was going on a...
Look, here's the crazy thing. Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So this lady, this woman, brought up another name. I hadn't even heard that lady's name before. But yeah, I promise you that Ghislaine lady was not the only one bringing these people to Epstein, right? You don't do that. It's a franchise. And I didn't mean to say that word lightly or as if it was funny to me, but like yo, they're really trying to do it. They proved that they could do it just a minute ago with the lockdown.
What's your question? How long have you been with Barack Obama?
We've been married 20-something years. Wait, somebody, you guys know the date. When was it? It's been over a decade. It's been a while.
To the New York Times, they are close family friends of the Obamas.
When did Trump...
Crazy Nancy Pelosi are the sinister faces of this corrupt and lawless political establishment. They enrich their families in Ukraine, China, Russia, while they set violent criminals loose without charges while prosecuting their political opponents for fabricated crimes. They legalize mass robberies and cheer for BLM and Antifa rioters, ransacking our cities while they hold nonviolent protesters without trial, destroy their lives. They indoctrinate your children to hate their parents while calling you a hateful racist. They stick the FBI on mothers at school board meetings while they teach 4-year-olds to pick their own genders. Would you like to change your gender? And they say it's absolutely...
Yo, the sun even shines on a dog's ass sometimes, right? But I mean, that was straight from the horse's mouth. And what's crazy is that people just dismiss everything. Just everything. Like, you got to sift through it. Is it ugly? Is it terrible to listen to? Does it cause ear fatigue and listener fatigue? Yes, it certainly does. But you know, we just had the largest consolidation and transfer of wealth from one class to another in the history of mankind, right? Our conditions are worse than feudal Europe. And it's crazy because we have what is being touted and advertised as freedom, right? But it's not like a real freedom. It's the freedom to wild out within constraints. Whoa, look at this headline right here though. This is crazy. Man is accused of killing his girlfriend and interrogated for 6 hours before police realize he's also a victim and has been shot in the face. I don't want to see. But this is
Well, what it shows is that the West, NATO, the United States, the UK understand that Ukraine has lost the war. They will not win the war. There's absolutely no chance of them winning. And what has happened is that the West has become incredibly, almost insanely reckless in provoking a nuclear war. We've done it in the past. As you mentioned earlier, we sabotaged the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines. They don't belong to us. They belong to Germany and to Russia. But we sabotaged them to cut off the gas. We helped to sink the flagship of the Russian fleet, the cruiser Moskva. We sent to the bottom 300 young Russian sailors. The recklessness is so extreme. And you think of what started the First World War, where there was an assassination of the Archduke and his wife, and that resulted first in 18 million people being killed in the First World War, quickly followed by 50 million more in the Second World War, all starting from 2 people. And yet you look at the things we're doing. Now we're flying drones, and I say we the United States has disavowed any involvement, but at this point, it's a little hard to believe that Ukraine does anything without pre-clearance from the United States. And so we are literally attacking centers of nuclear power in Russia. And I'm sure that there are at least some elements that do it with the intention of triggering a spark, setting off a spark that will ignite the nuclear holocaust and probably kill 60% of the world's population and most all of the people in the West.
Hello?
Hello? Who's this?
What? You called me?
Kamala?
Biden, this is Putin.
Hey, Putin, man, I was calling you because, hey, man, listen, man, you got Brittany Griner in jail over there. We want her back, man. Come on, man.
I'll give you Griner, but you must give me Victor Bout.
Come on, man. You want a guy that was caught selling missiles to kill American troops, man.
No Victor, no deal.
Okay, listen, Putin, if you're not going to give us back Brittany Griner, stop calling.
You called me. You're losing your mind, Joe.
I'm not losing my mind. Listen, man, I want to tell you like my daddy told me, big dogs might have big barks. When I was a kid, I remember I used to smell bacon and eggs cooking.
So, did you all hear what happened?
Brittany Griner has been released.
Wow, what happened?
The bottom line is that the government is getting what they have ordered. They're getting what they have paid for. They do not want your children to be educated. They do.
Yo, look, I'm gonna tell you guys something too. I didn't these videos that are showing up on my TikTok like that. I didn't curate them, right? This is literally just what the algorithm is giving me, and I'll show you. If you look in the top left corner, hold on. If you look in the top left corner, it'll say under the K in Kudoken right there, see in red, it says for you. That's what's highlighted. Not following. This ain't the people that I'm following. This is just what the advanced algorithms of TikTok, which are remarkable. This is just what they're giving me. And I don't know what just happened to that Brittany Griner video, but we'll keep banging this for a minute.
They do not want you to think too much. That is why our country and our world has become so proliferated with entertainments, mass media, game shows, television shows, amusement parks, drugs, alcohol, and every kind of entertainment. The bottom line is...
What can I get you?
I'd like a large coffee.
Okay, so hot coffee.
No, I don't watch those kind of videos.
To show you exactly what I'm talking about, the concerns that I've got about where this all goes. Tell me, this is a screen down here.
Holy shit, we ain't even talked about what's going on in Australia. Holy fuck. Yo, they got some lockdowns in Australia. I've been seeing videos coming out of Australia where they just running up on cars with guns, being like, you got your vax card or whatever. Watch, let's see what this guy says. Like I said, I don't know. I didn't curate these videos. I'll just push play.
In the park, which looks pretty innocuous, I would say, but information you can come up and you can find out about the area, how it was named, the forebearers, all that sort of stuff. Park's features, tells you a little bit about what's in it. It's all fine. Events, what's coming up, you know, like Christmas carols, that sort of thing, no problem. But have a look at this. This little area here, Smart City. Now, this is the thing that I'm most concerned about. Not necessarily this, but what this infrastructure is going to do in terms of where it goes and the information that's being gathered about us when we're just going about our daily lives and how it'll be used in the future. Have a look at this. Let's take one straight off the top. Barbecue usage. This will tell us, it loads up, reportedly loads up, all the information about how the barbecues are being used in the area. Now, so what, you might say? Well, let's assume in a world not far from now, your government has declared a climate emergency. By the way, your government's done it here in South Australia already, which is a lunatic nonsense. It's just absolutely crazy. But we enjoy Eclipse 500 with all the diesel fumes as well, by the way. So,
All right, I think we get that guy's point.
One of the strangest places on the ocean's floor was only just discovered in the 1990s. And my degree is one of a handful of people to ever see it in person.
Without a doubt, one of the most amazing things that I had ever seen in the bottom of the ocean. It was while filming for Blue Planet. It was in the Gulf of Mexico. I noticed there's something out in the distance. Couldn't tell exactly what, but it looked like a dark band. And as we approached it, the dark band became a donut. I saw this donut. It was black in the center. What the heck is that? And so as we get closer and closer to it, I noticed that the black band had what appeared to be kind of steam over it. And then I looked, and there was water lapping against the shoreline. This band was a ring of mussels. And inside the ring of mussels was a lake. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm already underwater. lake and tried to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go.
Well, you guys did me. I tried to Carrie Lake is becoming a household name.
Yo, here's some weird shit. The Arizona elections are absolutely being stolen, and I don't like the person that is supposed to be, right? So Carrie Lake, by everything that every independent reporting is saying, should have won that. And of course, Arizona has a bunch of fuckery going on, right? And a bunch of counties in Arizona are refusing to certify the election results because they don't trust them, right? Or there was fuckery or shenanigans going on. Okay, so um the woman whose name I remembered 5 seconds ago and suddenly escaped, the woman who won the election was also the person in charge of the elections. Uh, what is her name? Oh, I was just talking to Ojo about it a minute ago too. Anyways, she is threatening these people with felony charges if they don't certify the election, which appears to completely be stolen. Let's just see what this guy talks about, though. I just want to give you some context.
Not just here in Arizona, around the world. The left is absolutely spite of cake here in Arizona. If you haven't had a chance to watch Tucker Carlson from last night, go watch it and spread the word. Carrie Lake is on the rise. Now, here I am. I'm an Arizona native, born and raised here in the southeastern corner of the state. If you look down, you'll see we have cotton here in the beautiful state of Arizona. And this area right here where I'm at is known for the 3 C's: cotton, copper, and cattle. And if you look closely,
God, I don't care.
Absolutely incredible right there, and it's going to go pretty high. Watch it go, and shortly we should see that sun hit it in just a bit. You can just see it rising straight up from the horizon. There we go. It's starting to tilt a little bit. Gosh, what a sight to see, and one of the few things that I guess we'd all be very happy to say that we saw right as the year was coming to a close. And look at how just immensely bright it is, and again, all the way from Vandenberg, so far away, traveling so quickly through the night sky, and with sunset not even complete, just an absolute beautiful sight here. And look, and here's
I don't got time for that.
This guy, John Levi, amazing videos of a bunch of structures all over the world, and the United States included, where we can't even build it today. There's a lot of crazy shit. Have you heard the Tartarian?
Yeah, Sam Tarpley brought that up.
Yeah, there's many levels to it. There's the one of them is there's evidence that there was a great mud flood. There's a lot of shit, structures underground. There was a great mud flood, and then there's evidence that there was some kind of electromagnetic cataclysm.
I'm gonna lean on this for a sec. I'm gonna lean back on this for a sec and tell you, I had a conversation yesterday with a friend online, and he said he deletes everybody that believes in flat Earth. Now, look, I don't believe in flat Earth, but the people that push that idea have the craziest information, and they find some shit that opens up a whole bunch of different cans of worms about the actual history of our world. Which, remember, what's your favorite Gatorade flavor? Is it orange or orange? Orange or orange? So that we might be deceived by the true history of this country, and even the alternative to the whitewashed slave I completely just, even the alternative to the whitewashed history is still whitewashed, right? It's just given as the alternative, but both of them misrepresent the true nature and the true history. So these Tartaria people, just real quick, and I apologize for anybody that tried to bring this to my attention when I didn't have the brain space to really give it consideration, but these motherfuckers got some crazy shit. Let me just let this guy speak for himself, I guess. Let me get out the way.
That did you know brick conduct electricity?
Bricks do?
Yeah. Did
How
you know
so?
that? I don't know, but apparently they conduct
Well,
electricity.
don't they use ceramic on electrical components? They do.
I don't
They
know.
use ceramic on some, don't they? Is phenomenal.
I don't know why that guy
Around with those
stopped.
queries, you
There you go, watch.
modify those queries, and then if you're anything like me, you just go down this rabbit hole and you just push the capabilities of it. You just push it. So first you're like, write a high school essay about, The Great Gatsby or Grapes of Wrath. And you're like, cool, that was better than what I wrote in high school. So basically high school English is dead. So are we all going to be illiterate? So then I ask it to write me a operating agreement for a decentralized autonomous organization based in Wyoming, consisting of 5 members with different voting rights and equity positions. And it does it, and I'm a lawyer, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, so a lot of lawyers are going to lose their jobs. Then I asked it to write an episode of Seinfeld where George becomes the general manager of the Yankees, and it did it. And it was pretty funny. So then my wife walks by, and we've got this Christmas party coming up, and she says, can you find me a recipe for a keto eggnog cheesecake? It's got to be sugar-free. So instead of going to Pinterest, I ask it, and it gives it to me. Then there's a startup that I'm helping out with on the side, and the code is a little bit outdated, so I asked it to rewrite some of that code, and it did it. So you do that. You do all of that, and then all of a sudden, this knowledge settles upon you, and you understand that the world is forever changed. All that high school angst that I had, and I think some other people have had, where you're just like, what is the future going to be like? What is the world? What's the real world like? What's it going to be? It all just kind of comes back. Once OpenAI has a clear path to the collective knowledge of all individuals in real time, which it is getting through every single query, you recognize that there's no competitive advantage in any industry based on any piece of knowledge. Economies depend on individuals having skills, aids individuals don't have or don't have to, or that if they wanted to, it would cost them more to go and obtain that knowledge or those trades or those skills than it would to just pay someone to do the service for them. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So like it's 1999, if you know how to build a website and create like an e-commerce store, you can build a 7-figure business off of that, maybe an 8-figure business off of that. And even in 2022, if you want to build a website for a baby boomer, you can charge them 5 or 10 grand for that website because it's a form of arbitrage. So while it's amazing that we can draw on the collective knowledge of humanity to create anything out of thin air, it seems like, we will simultaneously destroy every industry that's based on knowledge work or expertise, including maybe some creative endeavors as well, maybe many creative endeavors. And that's the angst. The angst is that because the marginal cost of all value provided that's based on knowledge or expertise is going to go to zero, there's no economic value to any knowledge work. And there's also no gatekeeping of that knowledge. While this technology is amazing, it's also devastating. There is this phenomenon that's occurring with ChatGPT. You get on it,
Yo,
queries.
I think that terrifying revelation from that gentleman is a great way to finish the show. I'm still figuring out what I want to give to the world. I wish I could talk more, but that just leaves me open more to defending. So I'd rather just let other people explain it, and then I can maybe not translate it, but I can provide context and I can draw lines and make correlations and connections that maybe a lot of people miss because the pace of the world is so crazy, right? So, they're gonna have you believe in one thing because you trust the label, right? You read the label, you look at it, says 0 sugar, says replenish, rehydrate, right? It's got everything you ever want. Confirmation, authority. Except here's the thing. It's not fucking Gatorade, yo. It's Tang in a Gatorade bottle. That's a switcheroo. This is the real Gatorade. Look, this one doesn't even say orange. This says berry. All right, take that and apply it to everything you know about your life. Okay, look, I'll be back on Tuesday night, back here on the website. If you're listening to this in the podcast form right now and you made it through all 2 hours, I love you. I love you. If you didn't make it all 2 hours, that's cool. We appreciate your support. As you know, we're working really hard to bring you some accurate reporting and some alternative perspective to reject the manufactured one that's shoved down our throat. Okay, that's 2 hours of pure power. I promise Tuesday night I will have look, Tuesday night I'll have the audio working perfectly, so we won't have those problems. And man, I'll have the video. So on last Tuesday night, for those who missed the show, I couldn't Google stuff. When I tried to Google, it would bring me to the screen that would like make it so it was like internal prompts within the computer, and I don't know how to do it. So I fixed it though. It hasn't happened since. We ran this whole 2 hours without it. So anyways, hey, remember, today could be that day, and this could be that incentive and that catalyst moment to go do some shit or to stop doing some shit or whatever, right? This moment, whatever you've been putting off, whatever you've been waiting for momentum, right now you feel empowered, you feel educated, you feel involved and engaged. Take that strength, take that and use that as a catalyst and propel you, and use that momentum moving forward, and be best. All right, I love you guys. 5,000 G.
I was gonna win all day. I was gonna win every day. I was gonna win all day. I was gonna win. I'm a champion, shining like a diamond. Call me Rocky, Muhammad Ali. On your box of weed.